I wanted to ask you if we should be looking into alternative currencies outside of this concept of money.
Yeah.
Number one is a way to sidestep poverty, because poverty, in my opinion, is a creation of the money system.
Yeah.
Because animals are not poor.
Yeah.
If we look at the nature concept of poverty, we're looking, there are no trees, there's no greenery, there's no water running through.
Yeah.
And for most, let's call it Africans for ease. For most Africans, when we speak nature, outside of being landless, it's either because you're not willing to walk to the river to drink, or you're not willing to climb a tree. Or if we go agrarian, you're not willing to plant something, you're not willing to look after cows. That's why you're poor. Don't tell me about money, because that's a human creation. But now in the concept of money, if we play around hypothetically with this idea that money is the root of all evil, at least this concept of money, should we be looking into alternatives where we say, oh, okay, since Christianity is not serving us, let's look into Islam. Since the money system of the rand and the dollar and the euro and the yen and the pound are not serving us, what if we trade in? And now one of the counters, the death of God, is crypto. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. But could there be other ways where we say, hey, because we're poor here, let's play here where we become rich?
It's so a view. Now, there's no answers, right? All of those are valid questions, right? But to try and unpack them, you have been good at going to the origins of stuff. So what is the origin of this thing? Money, the early days of money were really trying to solve for primarily three things, but the two things are most important. Money essentially became the end of barter trade because it was trying to solve the issue of mismatch when you do barter trade. So what is a mismatch? Mismatch is I've got a goat and I'm looking for a sheep. But for barter trade to happen, I should not only find a person with a sheep, I must find a person with a sheep who's looking for a goat.
Yes.
So already I can find someone with a sheep, but they might not be looking for a goat. So there's a mismatch. So I must then go around looking for a person so I must ask the person who's got the sheep to say, what are you looking for?
What do you want?
This person will say, I'm looking for a bag of millies. Right? Then I must go around with my goat trying to find someone with a bag of millies that's looking for a goat. So you can see that essentially that was the issue.
Nightmare.
Barter trade became a logistical nightmare because of this mismatch.
And it doesn't push innovation, by the way, because you're normally meant to barter things. You have a shortfall.
Yes.
And if you know you're going to need sheep, you end up becoming a sheep farmer
to
avoid that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So therefore, the early currencies, whether it was stones or whatever, it was trying to solve that problem. It was, what is something that we all agree on that it can be a measure of value, so that when I find someone with a sheep, I can give them this thing, but they must believe that if they find someone with a bag of millies, that person will also, right?
Medium of exchange is the official
medium
term.
of exchange, right? This is really why for people my generation, they will remember that a banknote used to say, this is to certify that. So it was not just a paper with signature. If you search for the old 5 rand or
the
old
bearer
20
of
rand,
this note,
it will say the bearer of this is to certify that the bearer of this note can rock up in Pretoria and demand 5 rands worth of gold or whatever. It was a certificate. It was a bank note. This is why it's called a bank note. It is a note from a bank saying, if someone gives you this certificate, at any point in time, you can come to Pretoria and exchange it. So it became a medium of exchange, the store of value and all of that. So
that's the other important one.
That's the other important one.
That it was a store of value.
The store of value.
This is now one goat.
Absolutely.
We can now quantify.
We can whatever. So the debate about whether
what was the third one? Do you remember? Medium of exchange, store of value.
There's a third one. I forget it.
It doesn't matter. You can carry on.
And so therefore, what we call money today, even if we say, do we need alternatives? The question is whether it can serve the purpose that money emerged for, right? So that's why you hear some of the debates now in things like crypto to say it might be good and well that it is a store of value because there's a limited supply and all of that. But there are people trying to put solutions together on using it as a store, as a medium of exchange. Right. So I know Pick n Pay was testing something like accepting crypto in some of the
I remember that.
stores or whatever.
Sorry, a unit of account is the third one.
Yes. So
store of value, a medium of exchange,
yeah,
and it
so
must
we
be a
can
unit
have
of
a
account.
consistent way of saying your business is worth this much. You've made this much in sales, right? So then it became a consistent way of accounting.